Paul Thomas Anderson is back in the director's chair for the first time since There Will Be Blood, and can he match that masterpiece from 5 years ago? Hello there to everyone in cyberspace, and welcome back to RealScreenReviews.com. I am permanent fixture and film critic Nick Iacobucci, and our next movie review is The Master. This very serious drama opened on the 14th of September 2012, and it stars Paul Thomas Anderson regular Phillip Seymour Hoffman, and joining him on screen is Joaquin Phoenix, Laura Dern, and the wonderful Amy Adams. This film comes to us from the aforementioned director Paul Thomas Anderson, who has also helmed brilliant features such as Magnolia and one of my all-time favorites, Boogie Nights. He steps behind the camera once again to deliver us a solid drama, and most likely he will. Well, people, it is difficult to begin reviewing this film, The Master, because of the entire complexity of it, but I'm going to start with the master, Paul Thomas Anderson. He exploded onto the Hollywood scene in the mid to late 90s with both Hard Eight and Boogie Nights, and with his writing and use of the camera could make stars out of both veteran overlooked actors and unproven performers. I am of course talking about Philip Baker Hall and Mark Wahlberg. Anderson pretty much encompassed his talents early on in ensemble-driven productions and made movies that almost forced you to keep on watching. Now, I personally saw Boogie Nights 4 times when it was released in 1997 and thought that PTA to be not only a visionary filmmaker, but one of the boldest new filmmakers in decades. Shoot ahead 5 years later when he gives us Punch Drunk Love, which was a really good film in itself, but its biggest surprise to me was that Adam Sandler could actually act. Then yet another 5 years goes by, or a decade after Dirk Diggler, and Anderson releases to us There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis. This was one of the most powerful films that I had ever seen and gave us the best actor alive in one of cinema's most powerful performances. Anderson lets Daniel Day-Lewis display his brilliance by dropping the ensemble cast and letting the power shine through to the screen, and that's kind of what he does here with The Master as well. This really isn't so much a film about a certain topic that carries us through a linear story. This film instead gives us a cinematic and technical achievement that equally matches the ambition of There Will Be Blood. Now, just to clear this up and to get this point across, Boogie Nights is about the porn industry in a matter of setting, but the film is actually about the rise and fall of this young man's journey in it. Now, just like Henry Hill in Goodfellas, or Daniel Plainview's backdrop of oil and wealth and the corruption of power in There Will Be Blood, these settings are merely the canvas for which Anderson paints the picture. The Master deals with what could be called Scientology, but in my opinion is only there to set up and tell this story. Now, what exactly is the film about? It's about the relationship of these two guys where one is struggling with control issues and violence, and one claims to hold the cure for the soul. I will warn people that this is not so much a straightforward linear tale, and there is a good bet that this film will turn off the everyday and average movie ticket buyer. Considering some of the things Phoenix does in the beginning of the film, I can say that with absolute certainty. Even though I did not see Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life, I believe that I can classify this as that same type of film, or not for everybody. Now, I can say that this is going to be one of the truly defining moments of the Joaquin Phoenix career as an actor. I was saddened when he was going through this practical joke stage and didn't make movies for a couple of years, but he has absolutely and completely bounced back into one of the most engrossing and captivating performances of the year, or for that matter, the last 10 years. There are moments in this film where Phoenix gets 100% lost in this role of Freddy, and to watch him personify this soul of contained and released volatile behavior is simply amazing. This performance will make audiences feel so uncomfortable that you will actually squirm in your seat, and Phoenix's unabashed portrayal is the best performance that I have seen all year. Now, I have often said that I just love watching Phillip Seymour Hoffman on screen, and I think that this man can play any role with conviction. Capote, The Ides of March, or Doubt, you can take your pick at just which is your favorite role that he has brought to life. Hoffman once again pulls out all the stops as Lancaster Dodd, a man that is introducing the cause to the rest of us. He is a preacher and a manipulator whose character opens up the world for many, but at the same time represses insecurities of his own personality. His turn on the big screen in this film easily dwarfs his performance in Capote, and he won the trophy for that film. This is just a great blend of arrogance and gusto and confidence, insecurity, anxiety, and self-doubt. The scenes that these two actors share are equally as engrossing, entertaining, and smart, and the moments where they go head-to-head will not only be enjoyed by lovers of film, they will be studied by them as well. It's just great as the film plays out to see these two leads not only learn from each other, but they actually begin to figure each other out. Phoenix sees through the verbiage and the falsity of Hoffman, and Hoffman begins to see nothing but a liability in Phoenix. There are scenes that involve ridiculously intense recording sessions, and these were simply remarkable. The film also takes chances when Lancaster's son Val states that his dad is basically making all of this up as he goes. There are, however, parts of the film, like a race on motorcycles and the use of actresses, and these bits I thought were not utilized to their fullest extent. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, I guess The Master is a little bit of a longer movie, but I was glued to my seat and almost didn't even blink for fear that I was going to miss something. I believe the director of photography, Milhay Milmar Jr., has crafted the most hauntingly brilliant motion picture of the year thus far, and I doubt that it will be topped. Johnny Greenwood once again provides the music for the film just as he did in There Will Be Blood. Greenwood again supplies power when it is needed, and the music is inconsistently effective when the film calls for it. The editing by Peter McNulty and Leslie Jones is not only detailed and specific, but it pulls together certain scenes of the film into compact punches, if you will. The costumes are authentic and also accent the amazing production and set design. This film is nothing short of a masterpiece, and even though it doesn't give us a concrete finale, Nick's Real Screen Review is a perfect 4 stars out of 4, and that's for Paul Thomas Anderson's new drama, The Master. Well, that's all I have time for today. If you've enjoyed this review, please click like, subscribe if you haven't yet already, or share this review if it's not too much trouble. Now, I'm sure that I'll be returning soon enough with more movie news and reviews, and until next time, remember people, I'm not always right, but only when it comes to the movies, and thank you for your attention.